Get ready to ask yourself why this isn't something she already knew in the first place.
If you want a guy to do nice things for you, let me give you a little bit of advice of what not to do for the younger ladies. When I moved in with my ex-husband, he came home from work one evening with a dozen red roses. And instead of being like, wow, how amazing, that's so sweet, there was no reason. He was just being really sweet. And my whole self reacted with, why'd you get me red roses? You know I don't like roses. Peonies are my favorite flower. He never got me flowers again, and rightfully so. If you want a guy to do nice things for you, and even if you receive something that is not your taste, you don't like it, he should know that you don't prefer those. Encourage him.
I want you to think about how many feminists heard that story and immediately sided against the guy. Because in their minds, well, him buying the wrong flowers means she now has to carry the mental load of telling him again what flowers she likes. So him doing something thoughtful here just turns into a nag fest and another reason for her to feel like a victim. That's the level of disdain for men we're dealing with.
Act gracious and grateful. You can make soft suggestions of things that you like over time, but don't do that. Don't do that. You'll never get that thing again. Mark my words.
Wow, I guess we now know why she ended up divorced. Statistically, I mean, she was probably even the one who initiated it, despite being the kind of person that turns receiving flowers out of nowhere into a conflict. A story like hers pokes holes in this idea that if you just treat a woman really well, if you're really nice, you'll absolutely get excellent treatment in return. Take a look at this load of BS. This woman says no woman would have a toxic attitude if she was treated right. You get what you give. Simple. So the assumption here is that women are literally incapable of being the problem. Imagine how deeply coddled and insulated from accountability someone has to be throughout their entire life to say something like that out loud without ever stopping to question how absurd it is. Meanwhile, the woman we just listened to admitted she was treated well and had a toxic attitude anyway. Our gynocracy has conditioned way too many men to blame themselves, even when the woman's behavior is clearly the problem.
No woman in the history of the universe leaves the safety and security of a long-term marriage and breaks up her family if she were the problem.
You see what I mean? The woman automatically is assumed to be an innocent angel who can only become toxic after reluctantly being pushed into it by a man somehow. As if women don't enthusiastically do these things on their own all the time. Plenty of women leave good men and destroy stable families completely on their own, simply because they're incapable of being happy, or they've convinced themselves the grass is greener on the other side. This says good guy husbands are often the hardest for women to leave because they can't point to one specific thing that's wrong. That's my point exactly. If all you can say is something doesn't feel right, then that is an internal dissatisfaction more than an actual problem with the relationship itself. It's just a mountain of little things that just aren't right, and they're not sure if those things are worth leaving over. A lot of guys are naive about this. Western women are not prepared to be wives. The soil conditions them to prioritize emotions above commitment. 70 to 90% of divorces are initiated by women, and yet there's always an excuse for why accountability should not land on them.
And as a divorce lawyer, I can tell you that women are not divorcing men because they're bored or ungrateful. They're divorcing because they're tired of doing everything.
Tired of doing everything? That's the story women tell themselves. I've handled over 2,000 divorce cases. I've heard this exact narrative hundreds of times. Women don't file because they're doing everything. They file because they've been building a case in their head for years. She told her friends, told her therapist, told everyone except the one person who needed to hear it, him. By the time she files, she's already the victim in a story he didn't even know was being written.
Yeah, and what she said isn't even true in a general sense. According to the American Time Use survey, women do more housework, but that's only a problem if you ignore that men work more hours at their jobs as the balancing factor. It's obvious to me that feminist brainwashing makes women feel like victims inside their marriage. The therapy jargon and the victimhood language, like weaponized incompetence or emotional labor, mental load, that has them convinced that If and when they get married, they will inevitably be trapped in an unfair marriage where they have to regrettably fuck their husbands and be used as a personal servant, even when they're objectively being treated well.
Stop being a woman in general, right, ladies? I'm just kidding. It's easy. Shut up, bitch. We have everything we've ever wanted, and we're still not happy. I think we're the problem.
Yeah, I'd say the fact that there's a popular saying among women now that when a man does something courteous for a woman, they respond with, well, as he should. That level of entitlement is evidence she's on to something.
Well, let me get the door for you.
As you should.
What?
As you should.
No, thank you?
Thank you for what?
You know what? Nothing.
What? I'm gonna have to take a Uber.
As you should.
We have to be grateful, ladies. He is choosing to be a gentleman for you, and that is beautiful. Do not take those small actions for granted, ever. Yeah, but they do take it for granted. I mean, just like at the beginning of the video, and just like when they claim a man doing something nice for them is the bare minimum, or as he should. Yet the bare minimum from her, simply saying thank you, is apparently too much to ask. And if you want to support my work, the best way is by clicking the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description below. Since YouTube takes a 30% cut on donations, Buy Me a Coffee is the better way to directly show support. Head over there and check it out. Just click the link in the description below.